feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no way.
What's this?
Single must be love.
How did that make you feel when you saw your nude pictures on the internet?
Oh shit! This is it.
We're going to talk about that next break. It's 215-263.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
I am.
I'm not really
100.
One for Cassie. How does does it upset you or bother you when you have a song that you think is hot, and then somebody like Diddy wants to get on there who can't rap? He's a great businessman, but his rap sucks. And for Red Cafe, my question for you is: has anybody ever told? I mean, I like your music. You sound, your music is hot, but anybody ever tell you sound like Obi Trice a little bit?
That's the first time I heard that.
That's not the first time you heard Diddy suck, Red Cafe. Don't you tell that lie.
No, I thought he said.
No. The
Trice.
question for
Obi
Red
Trice,
Cafe
man.
was that he
Listen.
sounds like Obi Trice a little bit, but for
Oh,
Cassie,
maybe
I'm
Obi
sorry.
Trice sound like me though.
Oh yeah, true indeed.
Yeah,
True
you know.
indeed.
And I
Well,
ain't
true
mad at him.
indeed.
If I was him, I would want to sound like me too.
Oh, okay, I ain't mad at that answer.
All right.
But for Cassie, when you got a hot album, when you feel like you got a song out that's really hot, and then Diddy comes in the studio, I don't know how that process works, but he comes in the studio, I'm like, yeah, that's hot. Let me throw something more on that. Does that bother you?
No, it didn't bother me, and I liked the rhyme on the record. So.
Well, not just with that. Doesn't he have on your other song? He rapped on your other song too, didn't he?
My very first single you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, that was cool. I mean, because it had Jock on it. It was just like kind of like welcome me into Bad Boy, being in the Bad Boy. So it wasn't. No.
Okay. Well, thank you. Good luck to your both your guys' albums.
Yep, the all-new Morning Beat with Charlemagne on 100.3 The Beat. We're here with Bad Boy's latest artists, Red Cafe and Cassie. I started to say victims. I'm not going to lie. Started to say latest victims. But
You're funny.
I'm just being honest.
No, you're actually
People
like
don't win on Bad Boy, except unless your name is Diddy. Red, you know this.
Me and Red are going to turn it around.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Turn
look.
around what people think.
I think it's a good look.
I mean, the last rapper from Brooklyn that got with Diddy, we saw what happened. Biggie, he blew up, so.
Biggie, yeah, Biggie did remarkable things.
Was that something that you really wanted to do? Like, did you say, you know what? I think doing a joint venture with Bad Boy would be a good look. How did that come about, that whole joint venture? Because he was already on Convict.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Me and Diddy was talking about we were working together, and we started talking about a few different things, and we kind of was seeing eye to eye on a lot of them, a lot of different things.
Naked Pictures League. Now, Cassie, as I was talking to you earlier,
Yeah.
now it's no surprise. In R&B, it's Beyonce, Rihanna, and everybody else. Like I think Carrie's starting to get her own space. We're in the R&B pop lane. I'm saying R&B pop lane. Carrie Hilson's starting to get her own space. Sierra, even though her last album flopped, she's still there. And then it's really like the rest of y'all. That's why I say it's a Beyonce, Rihanna world. So how do you separate yourself from that? How do you get yourself noticed? Other than shaving your head and having Naked Pictures League.
Well, I have to say, just to clear that up, shaving my...
Yo, this Charlemagne was a demon, bro. I see why Charlemagne found God, got married, dealing with mental health. Because if they bring up these old clips, again, to me they're funny. I don't think none of it's cancelable, but shit, they would never let him live this down.
Shaving your head and having Naked Pictures League.
Well, I have to say, just to clear that up, shaving my head wasn't, a scream for attention. It's something I really wanted to do for a long time.
Okay.
And I finally did it, so that's that. But honestly...
And she was lying through her teeth. Diddy told her to do it. According to, I forgot who it was. They said Diddy saw someone with that haircut in the club and told her, you got to get this.
I just got back into doing things. I'm working hard. I can only count my blessings and just work as hard as I can. And that's what it is. I don't think I live in anybody's world but my own. So I'm my own competition. And I'm fighting to get past what I did before, obviously. So that's the biggest jump for me now. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. All right, we're gonna talk to Red Cafe and Cassie one more time in one hot second. If you got questions for them.
With a new album, but...
As much as I would like to entertain you, but nah, I actually think that record is all right.
You think so?
Yeah. Okay.
So do you have a release date yet? Both of y'all, Red Cafe mentioned you in the articles. I was talking about guys like.
All right, hold on. I think this is the first one. Here we go.
Hey, the all new Morning Beat with Charlemagne on 100.3 The Beat. DJ Touchtone providing the soundtrack. That was Red Cafe.
This is so interesting. I think this is when Charlemagne had gotten fired from Charlemagne got fired and he went to do radio, I believe, in Philly or something like that. And he had gotten fired supposedly because of Jay-Z over some Beanie Siegel shit.
Hottest in the hood, and my man Red Cafe is here.
It's moving.
Along with Cassie. If Jay-Z was really trying to move the culture forward at Summer Jam, like he said he was, instead of doing Death for Auto-Tune, he'd have brought you out to do Hottest in the Hood. He'd have introduced the new generation of Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
Brought you out to do Hottest in the Hood, brought Mano out to do all the above. But instead he did Death for Auto-Tune. What's your thoughts on that, being a Brooklyn boy, Red Cafe? Don't do the politically correct thing now that you're signed the Bad Boy.
Oh, Young Jock said it.
I'm sure he got a method to his madness.
Grand Heights, thank you for that. Young Jock said it.
This man, you know, he trying to figure it out.
But being that you're on Convict, I'm sure you got at least 1 or 2 records with Auto-Tune.
103.5 is the beat of Miami? No, I think it was Charlemagne. The Beats. Yeah, he had gotten fired.
We got some very shocking news. You actually yourself broke. This wasn't broken by anybody else. You actually went on Twitter yourself and broke this news. So go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, I put out on Twitter that I got fired from WPHI 100.3 The Beat in Philly. I mean...
Yeah, 103 The Beat in Philly. He had went to Philly, and then he got fired there because he said something about Beanie Siegel and Hove.
It wasn't nothing for me to break the news. My life is an open book, you know. It's nothing for me to share something like that.
So describe to me...
Anyway, let's get back to...
Is it still Bad Boy / Convict?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Okay.
Bad Boy / Convict.
And I'm hearing...
And T-Pain getting his Auto-Tune on my album for sure.
Okay.
I personally, I like Auto-Tune, man, you know. I ain't mad at Auto-Tune.
I mean,
Auto-Tune ain't do nothing to me.
Exactly. It works sometimes, and it doesn't work other times.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of things Jay-Z could have called death to. He could have called death to gang banging. He could have called death to the celebration of drug culture in rap. He could have called death to old rappers who don't know when to sit down, but then he would have get to himself.
Okay.
So, yeah, I understand.
All right.
Now, Cassie,
Yeah.
Cassie, I'm not gonna lie, Cassie. I talked about you so bad about a month and a half ago.
I want to hear what you said.
When you first shaved your head off, and then the pictures of you came out naked the next week, I said, this chick is screaming for attention in a Beyonce, Rihanna world.
Really?
Yes.
And is that how you truly feel?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Right.
I
don't you think it's a little
listen-
unfair to judge before you do know somebody?
I mean, I didn't judge. I was just giving my opinion because you know
Right.
when they talk about Cassie, you know, you don't hear a lot of good things. That's why I kind of got to give you props for keeping your head up because they say things like, you know, you're untalented, you're not good vocally, and then when you shaved your head and came out with the naked pictures, it was like, okay, she's reaching that. But
Well, I didn't put out the naked pictures.
Y'all like how Cassie just let him get that off. Yo, when they talk about you, they say a lot of negative things. That you're untalented. She says nothing. That you shaved your head for attention. Well, I ain't shaved my head for no attention. You're supposed to be like, what you mean I ain't got no talent, nigga?
Number one. But I did put out the pictures of my head shaved.
and that's, I mean, everybody's following you now, so you're looking like a trendsetter nowadays.
I mean, it's not even a trend. It's something I did.
How did that make you feel when you saw your nude pictures on the internet?
I took them and sent them to my boyfriend.
Really? Who was your boyfriend at the time? Diddy?
It doesn't matter.
Diddy doesn't need pictures of you naked.
It wasn't for him.
Ryan Leslie?
No, it wasn't for him.
Oh.
This is GOAT Charlemagne. We don't get these fucking answers. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cassie's a GOAT. Again, I know she's saying this was not consensual. She was forced to do this. But, Cassie held that nigga Diddy down. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. Like, and I understand Diddy was probably tight that she cheated on him type shit. But Diddy been fucking mad. I don't know whether to say men or women. But Diddy been cheating too. Diddy, for how good she held that nigga down and kept this secret for so long, while her reputation and her image got slammed, bruh, I know she cheated with the trainer, but sometimes you gotta get a parting gift like, all right, just go ahead with that. Because, bruh, I ain't gonna lie, bro, she held that nigga down, dog. She definitely held that nigga down. Like, she took all the weird, whatever, like, criticisms, and she never, ever said, bro, you know what she could have said? Bro, I only took them because Diddy told me to take him. I did it for him. She took the pain and the embarrassment. I get it a little bit. Like, she really took the blame.
Them and sent them to my boyfriend.
Really? Who was your boyfriend at the time? Diddy?
It doesn't matter.
Diddy doesn't need pictures of you naked.
It wasn't for him.
Ryan Leslie?
No, it wasn't for him.
Oh.
No.
We're going to come back to you, young lady. We're here. Okay. We got Cassie and we got Red Cafe in the building. You want to introduce your new single?
Yes, this is my new single, Must Be Love.
You have to speak up. It's a Beyonce, Rihanna world. You have to be heard, Cassie. Speak up. Introduce your single.
This is my new single, Must Be Love.
Featuring.
By the way, I'll say this. There's one thing in chat. I know y'all could say Yapidemics. Y'all either say Yapidemics, I'm just chatting. And obviously I'm trying to connect dots here. Or y'all could say Faxademics. I've noticed one thing about the women that Diddy has really dated or kind of locked in, with the exception of Young Miami. Like, Young Miami just didn't fit the mold. Remember Gina Huh, the little Asian chick, when she's on Tasha K, and Tasha K says, take a drink, and she hurries up and drinks? Like, Diddy dates people pleasers. Diddy dates people pleasers that probably have a hard time standing up for themselves. Now, some might call that submission, but I think it's more than submission. It's women who aim to please, and not only sexually, but in every way. They want you to be happy with them. Maybe you could call that low self-esteem. I don't know. Also, if we go by the story, look like Diddy, part of his game was telling her she ain't pretty enough. Yo, you look too Mexican, man. Fuck out of here. Yo, that performance was bad. It was less about reassuring her and more about putting her mindset down, and that would get her to want to please him more. You get what I'm saying? Again, just even look at, remember, granted, Charlemagne is a powerful guy in the music industry, has a big voice, pause. But Charlemagne just flat out called her untalented. And 2 minutes later, Charlemagne's like, nah, they can't hear you. Say it louder. And you could tell, like, she's so quick to, yeah, my new single. Like, her reaction is to just do what the person is telling her to do to please the person. You get what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't for him.
Oh.
No.
We're going to come back to you, young lady. We're here. Okay. We got Cassie and we got Red Cafe.
Somebody in the chat says, I need one of those.
The building, you want to introduce your new single?
Yes, this is my new single, Must Be Love.
You have to speak up. It's a Beyonce, Rihanna world. You have to be heard, Cassie. Speak up. Introduce your single.
This is my new single, Must Be Love.
Featuring?
Which one are you playing?
Is this the one featuring Red Cafe?
It's Diddy.
Oh my God, y'all would leave Red Cafe off to play Diddy's verse?
I make it work.
215-263-1003 at toll.
I'm wondering why Diddy never slapped shit out of Charlemagne. I know later he got involved with like Revolt start, like, you know, syndicating the Breakfast Club, but the way how Diddy was moving, I'm surprised. Yo, you talking to his main chick like that on the radio and you ain't get slapped? Nah, no way. Yeah, there got to be a story about it. Charlemagne. Because if Birdman pulled up on him, Diddy definitely was trying to kill him. On him, oh, here we go.
On Vlad TV, for the first time in like a decade, you know, you've seen him really get out there and tell his personality and everything else like that. You had him on the Breakfast Club, which I'm sure was, you know, somewhat of a result of his Vlad TV interviews.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and now Tony Ayo is doing his first ever solo show in New York at Sony Hall for the first time in his life because of, you know, the push that we gave him and then you followed up on, and suddenly he's doing his own tours and so forth. Like, yo, I love to see it. I love to see it.
Absolutely. I mean, think about, that's like even something like Versus. Versus, even though it's not considered hip-hop media, that's powerful because these platforms end up showing folk, but there's a difference between noise and having actual influence and power. You know, there's people that'll, you know, they'll bring people on Breakfast Club because Breakfast Club helps to sell books. Breakfast Club can help your podcast numbers jump. Breakfast Club can, you know, have people tune into your TV show. Breakfast Club can have people go out and vote for you. Breakfast Club can have people pull up to your, you know, movie, you know, that first weekend when those box office numbers really count. I'll never forget, you know, Diddy yelling and screaming at me. This is before I even recognized truly, you know, the power, you know, that the platform was commanding. This is when he dropped the Last Train to Paris album. And I gave him Donkey of the Day for that album, right? I'm like, yo, this shit is shake weight music. You know what I mean? Once again, being an asshole, because people love that album, right? But I'm just fucking with him. And he came to the station hot, like, to go out the back door, Charlemagne, type shit. And I remember when I finally had a conversation with Diddy about it, asked Sean Prez about it. Sean Prez put us on the phone. And Diddy was like, bro, you can't do that on my first week. He said, I'm a big boy. You know, I can take criticism of the music, but not on my first week when I'm trying to get these.
Damn. I want to see that original.
Since we got company in the room.
My disclaimer?
Yeah.
Okay, the views that Charlemagne expresses do not reflect the views of everybody else
Yes.
in the room, including myself.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? Yo, Chad, two things. First of all, I think one of the best hidden secrets is that clearly Diddy was the most freaky nigga, and he was doing these freak offs. But also what's hidden is that, you know, the perception of Diddy's that Diddy's like some punk. That Suge bullied and he was running away from Suge. Now, granted, over like all them niggas died or went to jail. So Diddy was his mogul, and later he got that respect of, oh, Diddy could do a lot of shit, or like, yeah, he's not a punk no more type of shit. But look like Diddy was always on that tough guy shit, right? Diddy looked like he was always on that bullshit. It's just that maybe his way of being on it wasn't the way of like Suge Knight and them niggas, so they got glamorized while we thought Diddy was just a stone cold bitch. But clearly it don't look like he was.
And Diddy, who's our co-host this morning.
Yes. Yeah.
That's our disclaimer.
Okay, so Donkey today for Monday, March 8th goes to a man that Diddy knows very well. Shine Poe. Shine, you gotta chill all the way out, B. You've been home for 6 months and you haven't.
Yo, look at Diddy's face, man. Diddy always, now when I look at Diddy, I could tell Diddy always want to slap a nigga, bro.
Dropped one hot record yet. The material you're dropping isn't even aight. It's terrible. He's released a new track called King David. Let's hear a little bit of this garbage.
You can tell he not all the way down with Charlemagne doing this.
Do you hear yourself?
Even though him and Shine wasn't getting along.
Well, listen, Shine does have an album coming out. He has Gangland.
That's a radio move. Just be. They won't do it while you're there. Huh. This is 14 years ago. Here we go.
God, this is the Breakfast Club. Let me put in my last train.
What did you say about Cassie?
Do we have to get into that? Can I finish?
So Diddy pulled up on Charlemagne.
It was when he interviewed Cassie.
Brush off my Sean John jeans here.
Now, yesterday during Donkey of the Day, you put Bad Boy record label.
Yes.
Puffy.
Yes.
Diddy. Sean John.
Yes.
He was the Donkey of the Day.
Yes.
And you said the reason why was because
I wasn't feeling Last Train to Paris album.
Right, and you slandered Diddy. Slandered Dirty Money.
Yes.
And one time before in your life, you slandered Cassie.
Yes.
Diddy refused to come up here and talk to you.
Yes. And me and Diddy had a phone conversation about that yesterday. First of all, Diddy is an OG. He's been making music for a long time, so he understands that people will have good and bad opinions of his music. He didn't agree with mine, of course.
Right.
Of course not.
But he understood and respected that I have an opinion. But deeper than that, me and Diddy had a convo as men. And I was expressing my opinion of his music to him, but that wasn't his issue. His issue was I disrespected somebody that's real close to him. Right. You know, his shorty. I had no idea that this person was that close to him. And as a man, he expressed to me, what if that was your woman? How would you feel if someone disrespected her?
When you interviewed Cassie, he's mad about that.
Just let me finish here, please.
All right, his shorty Cassie.
And as a man, I totally understand.
Man, Charlemagne has to do an apology. I feel it still. Hold on, let me see. We should be at lunch. Just give me one last update on these tweets, and then we should be at lunchtime. Let's see. AUSA said, who you speak to about it? Kerry Morgan says, Ryan. By the way, they're talking about the coat hanger, right? And she's saying that she got hit with a coat hanger over behind her right ear. And basically, he was mad about who Cassie was cheating on him with. They would say, it says, who do you speak about about the incident? And she says, Ryan, his old assistant. AUSA says, what did he do? Morgan says, nothing. And I haven't spoke to Cassie since. They went on break then, and they're definitely officially at lunch because it's 12:53. Okay, so the jury's out for lunch. The judge is saying, what's your best citation to try to get evidence in? Okay, they're trying to do some nomenclature stuff. Judges say, I'm going to look at them and come back. Combs says, we haven't seen this one before. And it says, y'all all need to go eat. Go get a break, okay? So all this happened 4 or 5 minutes ago. So I would imagine that we're going to be out until 2. So, chat, we're not getting off, clearly. So we're just chilling. We're going to see who comes out of the courtroom. We're going to be doing all that shit. So you guys order your lunch, and I'll be here just kind of just vibing with y'all, all right? Y'all having a good time? Or not good time, because there's no having a good time watching this. But as long as y'all are good, whether you're doing delivery, Uber Eats, Lyft, if you're driving a truck, if you're working a corporate office, if you're in school, just thank y'all for tuning in and rocking out.
And that, so I apologize to him for that over the phone because I totally understood where he was coming from because I got a woman that's close
Go to the Drink Champs interview. What's on a Drink Champs interview? Did he Drink Champs interview?
to me on that level, so I would feel the same way. I'm a respectful person, contrary to popular belief. So I apologize to Diddy for disrespecting his lady. As far as that last training,
What did you say about Cassie?
Do we have to get into that? Can I finish?
It was when he interviewed Cassie a while ago, and he said
Can I finish talking here?
He said some things about her music and then about her
That's what that nigga was trying to do to me about Young Miami, though.
sleeping her way or whatever, something like that.
That was foul. That was nice.
That is disrespectful.
Not the
You
music
did call
part.
me a
Not
slut,
the
too.
music part because that's my opinion. But sleeping her way to the top was it's a tad bit disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the Last Train to Paris album, we agree to disagree on that. But I don't want to sway anybody's opinion of that album. My opinion is my opinion. But don't let my opinion be your opinion.
They actually gave it good reviews in a lot of places.
A lot of great reviews.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Check it out for yourself and come to your own conclusion. So I salute Mr. Combs. The fact that Diddy even reached out to me, I appreciate it because
Shout to Diddy.
he didn't have to do that. He's Diddy, the mogul, multimillionaire, lifestyle ambassador, hip-hop icon, and I'm just young Charlotte, the radio jock, trying to make my mark. But for him to reach out and for us to have that convo and for him...
Diddy applied a little bit of pressure right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Charlemagne came back. You can tell. He just didn't do like how Birdman do it. By the way, I'll give every artist this type of advice. Yo, radio DJs, media personality, media outlets, they're oftentimes fickle and petty, and they use things against you later. If you got a gripe with a media personality, an outlet, a blog, a Twitter page that says something against you, a lot of times y'all artists don't realize, yes, that one little platform might be just gnawing at your reputation this and third, but your voice, of course, is going to be a lot of times louder than theirs. And what happens is that even if they're in the wrong, you now created an enemy that is going to be tweeting at you, talking more than you, that's going to be trying to sway people against you, usually perpetually, just because, they got embarrassed. So a lot of times I advise all media entities, or not media entities, artists. I told this to Cardi B back in the day. I said, rather than blast in the shade room, you don't got to put up weird or wild pictures of Angie. Try to have a conversation with her, because at the end of the day, shit, it's probably been like 7 or 8 years since that happened. Cardi B and Shade Room are still both known entities, and obviously I think Shade Room kind of let it go. But if Shade Room was really petty, they'd be over here still kicking your back and making you look crazy. So, what Diddy did was the way to do it. And I'm pretty sure he was barking at Charlemagne, like, Charlemagne, I could A, B, C, and D, like, nigga, I get a booty going. Like, he could have said anything to Charlemagne, but the shit was handled in private, as opposed to Birdman, who pulled up on some. I'm telling you, what Birdman did was not more disrespectful than this call by Sean. But I guarantee, because it's public, Charlemagne still hasn't sat down with Birdman since, you know what I mean? And that goes into the power of embarrassment as well.
To give me some jewels about the game while we was on the phone.
I threw up in my mouth just now.
I respect that. I respect that. And I've said from the beginning, I respect Diddy, and anything rooted in respect can grow. That's how I feel.
This is just so different from yesterday.
Wasn't it?
Yo, Charlemagne's co-host always used to be setting him up for him to get an ass whooping, because they wanted him to keep the same disrespected energy. They wanted to keep that disrespectful energy all the time. By the way, Low Life Brady says, yo, I like the no skin carry Charlemagne better. Nah, everybody know Raccoon Eye Charlemagne is greater Charlemagne. That's a fact. Like, that's like, yo, when Uzi goes back to purple dreads, you're like, oh shit, he's about to do it again. If once Charlemagne face looked like he hasn't washed his face in 10 years, if that come back around, we got the GOAT. That's the GOAT. That's a fact. That's the GOAT. That is the GOAT.
Just have to say.
Listen, anything rooted in respect can grow when two men have a phone conversation and a person tells you.
Oh, shit. Okay. We'll pause that. I'll do a little sidebar here. I know we're on lunch chat. We're still covering the Cassie and Diddy case. Don't go nowhere. Order your damn lunch. Chill right here. We're covering hip-hop. This week we got to do minimum 8 hours a day. Shit, let me see. Fuck. Oh, chat, one day I can't do, oh my God. I'm very honest with y'all. One of these, you mean the Akademiks G-Wagon. Fuck are you talking about? Okay, all good. I did have some topics. Wait, let me check quickly on court. By the way, I know a lot of you guys are here. I think most of us are here for yeah, they're still out at lunch. They're still out at lunch. Oh, they're back. Oh, wow. They took a 30-minute lunch? If I let this in, Okay. So the judge is now dealing with another issue. The judge says if I let this in, Cassie could be recalled as a witness. AUSA says, I doubt we would call her. The judge says the defense could call her. AUSA says, I doubt she would be available. They're basically hinting that Cassie will be pregnant. Now, we don't know what issue this is, but it clearly is an evidence that is going to involve Cassie that the defense could say, we have had the witness testify either we didn't have the witness, this evidence wasn't in at that point, so we couldn't ask that witness who's material to that evidence. We couldn't ask that witness that question. So if y'all admit the evidence, we got to be able to bring her back in. Now, the judge says the evidence is out, so it's a non-issue. Look like Cassie will not be called back. But here's the thing. I'm wondering if they're saying it based on the evidence being maybe irrelevant or redundant or maybe just didn't, whatever. Or maybe the judges, apparently there's a conversation that was had between Cassie's lawyer and the court about Cassie's availability and the fact that she would be given birth expectedly in the next few weeks. So I'm wondering if the judge just made the decision because she's going to be unavailable due to childbirth, or the judge is saying this is a waste of time. Okay. The judge also said, I anticipate Mr. David will be the next witness. How is he relevant? Okay, so that's the judge asking. AUSA says he's relevant to the means and methods of the enterprise. By the way, this is the first supposed personal assistant of Diddy that has, I guess we could call it at this point, flipped on him. But I don't know if that's fair to say, because will we say that Dawn flipped on him? Because they were associated with him before, but it don't mean that they were ever defending him. But I guess this would mean flipped on him, because according to other people's testimony, Mr. David James, one of his assistants, is a person who used to help carry out his bidding. So he could have been somebody who could be seen as a co-conspirator. Now, clearly, he's going to be testifying for the government, okay? So they're saying he's going to be relevant to the means and the methods of the enterprise, and Mr. Combs threatening to assault employees. So while we wait for the jury to come back in, here's a court art of the Combs 2D Georgia lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland. Okay, this is her right here. Okay. She might have some cheeks still. Not playing. As she cross-examined Dawn, this was Dawn here, Rashard this morning, courtesy of Inner City Press artists, Inner City Press by artist Elizabeth Williams. Maybe the cover of the second trial. Okay, the jury's now entering. AUSA says no further questions for Mrs. Morgan. The judge says cross. So AUSA says no more further questions. The judge says cross. Agnifilio says, okay, so now Agnifilio is popping in. Let me put that in my list of who talked to who. Okay, so Nicole Westmoreland did Dawn. Richard, 7 is, no, not 7, because we have Mark Agnifilio already. He does administrative pre-day motions and cross on Carrie Morgan. Okay, bet. Okay. I got a little spreadsheet that we're going to use later to kind of help figure this out and remember stuff. Okay. So, Agnifilio says, you were Miss Ventura's best friend since 2004, right? Carrie Morgan says, actually, 2001. We met while waiting for Polaroids. Damn. I don't know why songs pop in my head when I hear words I haven't heard before. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, right? Ain't that, oh my God, I'm blanking on the group. Andre 3000 and Big Boy Outkast, yes. I was living in Buffalo. She was in Connecticut. So it looked like they go to a pharmacy or somewhere to develop some pictures. You remember you have to take pictures on like that thing, that camera roll, that you got to bring it to somewhere for them to develop it, and then you get the pictures or whatever the case is. That's how they said they met. Agnifilio says, then you were both in New York City. She says, I stayed downtown. She moved to Harlem. Agnifilio says, have you ever met Kim Porter? She says, yes, probably at a concert. Agnifilio says, was Cassie ever jealous? She says, yes. Okay. All right. By the way, while we are doing that, give me a second. I'm going to look at long crimes. We spent most of the break kind of, Yeah, we spent most of the break not really paying attention to what was happening. Okay, so we didn't see this. So while we're getting the tweet, let's listen to Shorty right here. She's done a good job of exiting court and letting us know the real feel of what's going on and maybe important moments that we missed. So let's play this real quick, chat.
There are no audio recordings allowed in that courtroom. What did you see and what did you hear?
This from the
yeah,
first
well,
half
the
of the
tone
day.
as far as this morning goes, a lot of people were kind of anticipating what would the rest of Dawn Richard's testimony look like, and especially more so, how would the cross-examination and how would Diddy's defense attorneys kind of be able to pull apart essentially her credibility. As far as just everyone inside the courtroom today, it doesn't look like there was that big kind of present for the defendant side that we've seen last week, especially when we came to day 1 and even day 2 of testimony, in that we didn't see any of Diddy's children inside that courtroom, which I think is a little big and a little not big at the same time. We saw images over this weekend that the twins were in during prom season. They were in their prom dresses and that sort. Not 100% sure where the sons are in this kind of picture, as far as are they on the West Coast again because the twins are about to graduate. So it's unclear why the family presence wasn't so big as it has been for day 1 and day 2. As far as Diddy himself, though, it seems like that didn't necessarily faze him that much. I assume that he, looks forward to seeing his family inside that courtroom, but maybe understanding that they had other obligations. He didn't seem too bothered by that or anything like that. So as far as him,
I would actually say I think the family didn't show up today, or maybe his kids or whatever, because they know the main part was Cassie. Nobody give a fuck about what Dawn Richard got to say. The fuck? Shorty's mad because she ain't got no goddamn career. And Kerry Morgan hasn't been friend with Cassie for dumb long. Like the main witness already went, y'all could chill for a little bit.
being inside that courtroom, it was still the same old Diddy that we've seen, kind of in the same old outfit that we've seen him in as well too. He was wearing a tan sweater, he had a white undershirt, he had khakis on. When he comes into the courtroom, he hugs his attorneys, he chats with them, all those types of things. And so a lot of people were just anticipating what would it look like once Dawn Richard got back on the stand. And let me tell you something, Jesse, when I saw her on the stand today, and even on Friday as well too, she appeared like she just didn't want to be there. You could tell that she was very uncomfortable, especially talking about her recollection of her time that she had worked with Diddy, her time after working with Diddy, especially during the cross-examination part. I thought that...
Interesting. I wonder if the government compelled these people to testify by kind of like even using the angle of, hey, you have a civil case against this guy. You want to get paid. You are probably on the path of winning that civil case if you testify in a criminal trial. Because if we're successful, your case is almost a slam dunk at that point. So she might not want to be there because this is wild fanfare and we're not going to see this fanfare for her civil case. But she's trying to get that bread out of Diddy too. So if she's trying to get that bread, it's in your benefit to testify in the criminal case, you know?
That maybe she would get a little emotional because she just appeared maybe a little nervous, maybe a little intimidated, not necessarily sure, but she was very soft-spoken while she was on that stand today answering some of the questions. A lot of those questions obviously had to do with the egg frying incident. It had to do with why Dawn Richard even continued working with Diddy even afterwards, or even wanting to work with Diddy afterwards. And so a lot of the anticipation, or just the overall tone inside that courtroom, especially when it came to that cross-examination, it was kind of, it was a little rough to watch. It was a little like a lot of people, especially us in the gallery, in the press, were just kind of like, wow, this is a little brutal. And they kind of hit the points that they wanted to hit while them being defense attorneys. And so I think that the prosecution really kind of had to tighten everything up as far as, trying to get maybe back in the jury's good graces after kind of seeing that cross-examination go and all those holes that were poked into her testimony. And so that was just the overall essence and tone of today's, especially this morning before Kerry Morgan got on the witness stand.
To go by, because I know it's so loud. So this, Elizabeth, how is the jury responding to Dawn Richard's testimony, and what were some of the highlights? I mentioned it briefly before you came on air, kind of summarized some of the points, but what were some of the points that came out today from her testimony, both on direct and cross-examination, and how was the jury responding to her testimony? Because let's not forget, she is a corroborating witness for Cassandra Ventura Fine. She helped to articulate some of the finer elements of racketeering. What were some of the highlights from her testimony, both on direct and cross, and how was the jury responding?
Well, absolutely. As far as being under direct, it was really just kind of ironing out the details as far as what happened with this whole egg skillet incident, that being the incident that happened in 2009, according to Dawn Richard, where essentially Cassie was cooking Diddy breakfast. Diddy comes downstairs, gets upset about either the way that the breakfast was made or why it wasn't being made fast enough, and essentially just an assault happened in the aftermath of that, something that Dawn Richard has even pointed out in her civil lawsuit, something that definitely the defense was definitely talking about today. So a lot of it had to do just with under direct examination still while they were finishing that up, just what was Cassie's demeanor when this was going on. They were also asked, or they being Dawn Richard was also asked, you know, Cassie had a pretty quiet demeanor and that Diddy wasn't necessarily having that when it comes to what kind of promoted this type of violence or what prompted this type of violence as far as why Diddy would essentially physically assault her. And Dawn would say Cassie would just be speaking up for herself, or it would be something random that happened. Then there were moments where they had talked about who witnessed these physical assaults, and Dawn Richard pointed out names such as Harve Pierre, who used to be the president of Bad Boy, Mia, who we expect to be testifying as well too. She had worked for Diddy. Capricorn Clark had worked for Diddy as well too, and then she named other names like D-Rock and Bonds, who both worked security for Diddy. So I can kind of see where the prosecution was kind of painting that or amping that up as far as how the staff is involved in all of that sort. As far as 2010, just the following year, she says she witnessed another incident where they were all at a festival together up in Central Park. They were about to bring out Diddy's Dirty Money group, and that right before this had happened, or actually, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong incident. Sorry about that. But there was another incident in 2010 where they were having a dinner with a bunch of celebrities, and that Cassie and Diddy were kind of arguing a little bit secretly there, and Diddy punched her in the stomach, according to Dawn Richard. There, she said that at that dinner, they had people like Harve Pierre, again, former president of Bad Boy, D-Rock, security, Kalina Harper, who used to work with Diddy's Dirty Money, Mia, who also worked with Diddy, and Bonds were all there during this dinner. And so then we kind of saw an exhibit photo of what Harve Pierre looked like. And so then there was another talk, and this is kind of where I bring up the Central Park incident, where there was an incident where Diddy had allegedly physically assaulted Cassie while they were getting ready for this festival, and that Cassie came into the bathroom, and that Kalina and Dawn kind of confided in her, or at least kind of helped her during this moment. They all kind of put on sunglasses and then just kind of carried on like usual. Meanwhile, Cassie's kind of nursing some injuries just behind the scenes. Now, when it came to the cross-examination, and there was just a lot of testimony going on today, so I'm trying to get you guys all my notes going on and everything like that. But once it came to the cross-examination, that was done by Nicole Westmoreland, and this was the first time we've kind of really seen her in action when it comes to this specific trial. And so first thing that Nicole Westmoreland's going to be asking her is just about her lawsuit, the lawsuit that she had filed just a few months ago against Diddy. And so she was asked about the demand letter that was I guess set up by her attorneys. She was asked about how many times she spoke with federal prosecutors, and she said she couldn't necessarily recall the amount of times that she had done it, but the defense kind of summed it up that she at least spoke with federal prosecutors 8 different times. They brought back the egg skillet incident where on Friday the defense was pointing out, you said that Cassie was cooling the eggs, and then Diddy comes downstairs and then he hits Cassie, or did he hit her, or did you see him hit her? Did you see that he had threw something at her? Was he like, it was really just kind of that quick and that much questioning kind of being thrown at her essentially. And then they brought up how it kind of compared to what she had said in her lawsuit just about the whole egg incident, and said that she didn't see the pan hit Cassie in the lawsuit. And then when she was asked essentially why she brought the lawsuit about, the defense was really kind of pointing at her, and I think this is something that, you know, anybody who had filed a civil claim against Diddy might be expecting this under the cross-examination, is what was their motivation in filing the lawsuit against the defense's client essentially. And so while Dawn at times was trying to say that she wanted justice and that she wanted to do the right thing, essentially, that the defense also pointed out, well, you did want compensation as well, too. And Dawn had to kind of own up and admit that she did want compensation for the time that she had worked on as an employee. Then the defense was asking her about her most recent communications with Diddy, as going back as early or as soon as like 2020, 2021, where essentially Dawn was reaching out to Diddy himself, was trying to get in touch with people about this kind of whole making the band. I believe it's a reboot that they were trying to do where Diddy wasn't necessarily going to be a judge, but instead Dawn wanted to use that opportunity to work with somebody else named Lori Ann Gibson. And so the defense was really kind of hammering her just about the facts that she had talked about with federal prosecutors as far as the different meetings that she had had in 2024, on March 18th of this year, on April 17th of this year. Again, just pointing out specifics in regards to this egg incident, but also at the same time going into specifics about whether or not she felt threatened to working with Diddy. And if she felt threatened, if she felt scared for her life, why did she continue reaching out to Diddy as late as 2020 or 2021? You know, as we ended direct examination on Friday, they were really kind of hitting on the point that after Dawn Richard and even her bandmate at the time, Kalina Harper, allegedly witnessed this physical assault with the whole egg skillet thing, because that's kind of how they were summing up this particular incident, was the egg skillet incident. She was asked on Friday, what did Diddy tell you the next day? And essentially Dawn had said that Diddy essentially said that people wind up missing when they question him and that type of thing, and that was perceived as a death threat. So then when the defense had their chance to kind of cross-examine her, they were like, well, why did you feel threatened, and yet you continue to want to work with him? And so the defense moments, Nicole Westmoreland really kind of hit it on the head. I think a lot of people were possibly wondering, did Dawn come off like a liar, or did she kind of over-embellish some of these incidents? But
Right.
to Dawn's accord and to Dawn on the witness stand, she was just saying, you know, she was trying to remember to the best of her ability. So it was kind of tough to watch, but at the same time, I think Dawn Richard held her own. She didn't, kind of get
They exposed her ass too.
too frazzled necessarily. She didn't get overly emotional, but you could tell that during the cross-examination, it was pretty tough.
And we actually have a poll up right now on YouTube. Do you think the jury views Dawn Richard as a credible witness? We'll see what the results of those are. I wish I had a little bit more time.
Okay. All right. Get back to the tweets, y'all. Remember, this is the afternoon session. Okay, great. So it says, and the other way, Kerry Morgan says, Cassie was speaking with Michael B. Jordan, and Sean got jealous. She was trying to leave him. Agnophilia says, y'all were both using drugs? She says, no, we were in South Africa. Agnophilia says, did you learn about Gina? Then Carrie says he was having a full-on relationship with this little girl. What? So why do you call her that? She acts like that. She's younger than us. Oh, my God. Why they sneak doesn't understand? How old is Gina Hill? You said this little girl. How old is she? Famous birthdays got her as, what is this, 33? And then how old is Cassie? Cassie age, 38. Yo, nobody age shames more than women. Nobody. Nobody age shames more than women, bro. Okay. Has Kerry Morgan ever done an interview? I guess not, right? Kerry Morgan interview. Has she ever done an interview? No, we never seen an interview. Has Gina ever done an interview? Well, we know Gina. No need to pull up that interview yet. How old is Young Miami? So Gina is 32 now, Young Miami age. And Young Miami's 31. Okay. So apparently Diddy started fully dating, and she calls her this little girl. All right. That subtle dismissiveness. By the way, what year was this? If we could tell. 2001. In South Africa, when she was filming a show, South Africa, Cassie filming. She was filming a movie. She was filming Honey 3, Dare to Dance, right? How old was Cassie in 2015? How old was Cassie in 2015? Cassie was 29. I told you nobody's age shames more than women, right? So in 2015, Cassie's 29, right? And it's always the woman that's about to push 30 or they're 30. When women hit 30, everybody else is a little girl. Like, yo, you kind of creepy for liking that little girl. He liked you at 21. He liked you at 21. It was completely fair, right? But now Diddy, like, you're pushing 30, right? She about to turn 20. She turned 30 that year. Diddy want the new young thing, right? If the Gina girl was born in, she was born in, let me see, how old? I'll tell you right now. Let me see, calculate. Yeah, the girl is 22. So at that time, the girl is 22. Chad, so think about this. Diddy had her doing freak-offs at 22. No issues. She's about to push 30, and Diddy finds the new 22-year-old to go do the freak-offs, Gina. And she's over here, why did he date that little young-ass girl? That's when he found you. He loved the 22-year-olds. Once y'all get to about 30, y'all start talking about marriage, kids, and not freak-offs. Y'all want to grow out of the freak-offs now. All right, Sean, we've done 10 years of freak-offs. Could we now, like, get married? Huh? The fuck? No, I'm just going to let you go and go get the new girl to do the freak-offs. Diddy don't want to have the kids with none of y'all. He just want to have freak-offs. Somebody said 22 is a little girl. See, you're missing it. You're missing the point because, as I said, is that a woman who said that? Is that a chat queen? Sometimes y'all so obsessed with, listen, the same thing, you can't shame Sean for doing the same thing he did with you. He met your ass at 22. He had you freaking off at 22. Now you pushing 30, he go get another 22-year-old. The pattern is the nigga like 22-year-olds. So if there was nothing wrong when he got with you, why are you upset that he getting with another chick that's 22? You get what I'm saying? Somebody says the freak off training camp. Okay, all right. So she was younger than us. I ain't gonna lie though. Yo, women hate when you do lead a ass for a chick that's younger. All of a sudden you hear things you ain't never hear before. Yo, chat, leave your current girl and get with another girl. And be like, yo, yeah, he's weird for that. Like, huh? If she 34 and you leave her ass for a 25-year-old, yeah, he like little girls. They'll just say all type of dumb shit. Yeah, he like little girls. He don't want a grown-ass woman. When he got with you, you was 25. Anyway, Combs Combs' lawyer says, when you say Sean came and hammered the door, why did the police come? Kerry Morgan says they came because of the noise. Agnafilo says, what did they say to you? Morgan says, Cassie was visibly injured, but she didn't say anything. Okay. Let's go back to Gina let's hear her talk about 2015. So it looks like a big, like, there's two big incidents that happen. As Cassie is pushing 30, right? She's now realized her entire career is dead. That nigga don't want to make you an artist no more. Okay? He only wants you to go train for freak-offs. Okay? Now, what happens next is that in 2015, the only thing she still got going on in, like, you know, entertainment is that she would get these little roles or these little movies because she already had a name. she'd be like a love interest, right? So when they were like, oh, let's turn Terrence J from BT into a star, like he's an actor, they go get a hot chick who's a singer or a former singer. And that's where Cassie would fall in. Cassie, she's kind of getting upset. All they're doing is freaking off. They're not having kids. Ain't no wedding band coming. She's upset. Okay? Diddy, who I guess she had caught him fucking this girl before, the one up here. Diddy basically says, or no, Diddy gets caught again, and this time when he gets caught, it looks like she thinks, oh, it's more than you just fucking her. You're kind of trying to be with her. She blocks Diddy. She's in South Africa. Okay? She comes back. Diddy finds a way to get her back. And then 2018 is when this is when Cassie completely kills the idea of ever her being with Diddy, when Kim Porter dies and Diddy says, that was my soulmate. It just crushes her completely. So let me hear about Gina in 2018. If I can find
you think prompted him to call you? He took one of my
pregnant with.
This was at the Palms.
As motherfucker should be shutting the hell.
2013, because I was at a fight in Vegas and I went.
Okay, so that's when they first met. Looked like Cassie finds out about it, but Diddy's like, nah, I stopped fucking with her. Cool. 2015 come around, Diddy probably already got a train for the freak off. So, like, with all due respect, and we're gonna say allegedly just to be safe, but he would imagine if Diddy was so obsessed with freak offs past 2015 going on to the point he was having 1 or 2 a week, if he got this new girl and he met her in 2013, now Cassie thinks he's almost in a full-blown relationship with her in 2015, we could probably safely assume that she was getting freaked off or she was down with the program at that point.
And I was visiting her and
that initial encounter at his house, or did it take some time?
No, not really. We were there probably for like.
I'm trying to find 2015.
And he's always kept you.
He like started punching me like on the side of the. Took a bottle of De Leon and then I like smashed it on the ground and he was like, you bitch, you did that at my house with my kids here. Bitch, my kids is here. And then I ran out the meditation room
meditation room.
I was like, no, you don't. Because I thought that I would, if anything, I thought I would.
Oh, also Lori Harvey's in the mix. Oh my God. Nah, Diddy had a lineup. We just don't know who's consensual. Diddy had a fucking lineup, huh?
I don't believe him because I always catch him like texting other girls and stuff like that. So like after my abortion, it was this girl named Jordan.
Who's that?
I mean, it was girls before that, but it's like after the abortion, it was just like too much for me to handle, and it was just like Jordan, and then the Jocelyn girl, and then the cat girl, and then just recently Lori Harvey,
Steve Harvey's stuff.
All y'all niggas is talking about pray for Alex Fine. That nigga was a trainer nigga doing chin-ups for fucking money, and now he's up $30 million with his wife. He married into richness, or he took Diddy's girl and now they both got a bag. Lori Harvey, ain't Lori Harvey with that nigga from Snowfall or whatever the fuck, or is she still with Michael B. Jordan? Why y'all don't look at Michael B. Jordan or the other nigga like how y'all look at Alex Fine? They're getting a former freak off attender. Why y'all don't look at the rappers who be with Young Miami like how y'all look at Cassie? You think that, let me tell you this, a nigga like Diddy, he never got less freakier. He only got more. So whatever you think he did to Cassie, he did to the chicks after too. Let's keep it a beat. If he pissed on them, he pissed on all of them. Pee was going everywhere. It's time for urine. Let's keep it a beam. Y'all picking and choosing because Cassie took the stand and told y'all what it is. Young Miami tried to tell y'all she got pissed on. Y'all clowned her and she took it back. You think Lori Harvey never tasted no pee? Come on, bro. Come on, dog. You think Diddy got less freaky over the years or more? They searched the nigga house on a federal warrant, and he came to New York to prepare to get arrested or indicted, and he still had freak-off supplies in the hotel. He never got less freaky. He always got more. So if he did that to Cassie back in 2010, I imagine he pissed on her, pissed on Young Miami, pissed on Lori Harvey, pissed on whoever the Jordan. Everybody got pissed. Piss everywhere. And they always massaging the fucking semen in his nipples. Let's keep it a bean. Chat, you know how us men are. We ain't on no Diddy shit, pause. But you know how us men are. You date that one eater that know how to suck you into next week, you can't even fuck with a bitch afterwards that don't give good head. Come on, man. Niggas don't, like, once you start getting used to certain shit, you can't even fuck with a chick that, if you fuck with a chick that give good head, you can't fuck with a chick that don't give head. Bro, you won't even be happy. You start cheating from day one. Day one, you start cheating. Trust. So I'm telling you, if Diddy was getting his booty hole tickled, he was getting man milk rubbed on him, whatever he was getting lathered up in, bro, he didn't just stop after Cassie saying, you know, I'm done with this type of shit. Let me go do some regular shit. Fuck no. Fuck no. It only gets progressively worse. Somebody said, I'm eating, bro. Shit. Knowing how niggas sometimes graduate. That nigga could have been like, yo, fuck the semen, take that nigga doo-doo and rub it on me. Who knows, nigga? A mud bath. We don't know. Diddy was freaky. If she, like, we gotta hook her ass up to a lie detector test. Did Diddy piss on you? Diddy piss on all these chicks, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Stepdaughter.
Yeah. We was here in Atlanta for Super Bowl.
Okay, let me get back to the tweets, gang. So they explaining why the police came, why they didn't arrest nobody. It looked like Cassie held it down. And that's what I do want to say, as much as sometimes people want to say, yo, you know, I have to have that little carve out for Cassie. It's not necessarily a sweet spot, pause. It's not simping. We got to say, as much as I'm always on the train of call the police, like, bruv, like, don't wait 10 years, like, that nigga do it in the moment, because there's a lot of, like, how we got bitches coming back from the 90s claiming that they got raped, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, you, bitch, that's like 40 years ago. How the hell? They be like, yeah. And the niggas they be accusing, like, nigga, they accuse, like, Smokey Robinson. They be accusing some niggas, like, who dead senile now. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, Russell Wilson fucked me back in the 80s. Nigga, what? And you ain't say nothing for 50 years? Why we hearing about this shit now? That's, like, I understand that mentality. But the thing with Cassie, I do have a lot of grace for her. When you hear the story, it's not that it was only like, all right, like, yeah, I do think part of it was that she knew this was the bag. She's not trying to fuck it up. She knew she was going to go back. She's even said with the freak-offs, yo, I had to do it because I didn't want him to do it with another bitch. Cool. One thing I do notice, yo, Cassie was saving this nigga, bro. Like, yo, after the hotel incident, Diddy's calling her, yo, they're locking me up. Yo, that's him smoke signal telling her, like, yo, you gonna let them lock me up? Like, yo, pick up for me. This is after he just gave her a little Reese 300 combination, and he just kicked a 60-yard field goal with her noggin. You get what I'm saying? She was holding nigga down. Bro, they come to her door. Her face is fucked up. The nigga was beating on the door with a hammer, and they ask her for a name, and she won't give a name. You gotta look at Cassie and be like, bro, again, I'm not saying, I'm just saying she definitely held it down for that nigga, man. You could tell she was trying to, I'm not saying she wasn't there for the bread, but I think part of it was like, she would definitely take a gun charge. Like, I think he got rid of J-Lo. I think J-Lo was down to snitch on his ass. I think the first time some real shit happened, when they had to shoot up that club, and he had brought the gun in J-Lo's purse, and supposedly J-Lo threw it out of it, whatever the fuck happened, I think J-Lo was just like, bitch, you forgot my skin complexion and forgot yours. I know I'm Jenny from the Bronx, but nigga, I would go up there and sing like Tweety Bird and get you the fuck out of here. After that, I think that nigga realized no more famous bitches. Second of all, because if she got a career, she'll definitely turn on you. So you got to get one of them, like, you know what I mean, with like a fucking, one of them little visas that she might have to get deported or some shit. She just relies solely on you. Without you, there's nothing going on for her. And I think after that, he probably just realized, like, bro, you got to pick the girls in a different type of way. Because the way how Cassie was, Cassie looked like she would have went to jail for that nigga. And that's what makes me look at her testimony a little bit different. The only thing is, I don't know if I look at it different enough to say she got sex trafficked. I do think she dealt with abuse, 100%. I ain't gonna sit here and say, oh, no, she ain't deal with abuse. She definitely dealt with abuse. Is that abuse sex trafficking? I don't know, because I think she was a freak too. I think she was a full-on fucking freak. Anyway, Agnophilia says, you two were best friends for 18 years, but now you haven't spoke to her since 2018? What's going on? Carrie says, true. Agnophilia says, at the danger of being Captain Obvious, that's a long time. She's moved on. And AUSA says, objection. Agnophilia says, why haven't you spoken with her? Carrie says, she did not support me after Sean assaulted me. I tried that line at assault. Or I drew that line at assault. Agnophilia says, did you reach a settlement with Mrs. Ventura? Carrie says, Diddy paid it, basically through Cassie. Right? Remember, she was about to sue them after Diddy throws a hanger, hits her behind the ear. I don't know, maybe there's a gash, bleeding, scar. Cassie don't say nothing because Cassie ain't about to go against her daddy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody know that one homegirl. Like, she gonna defend her man right or wrong, and she'll go against her friends. You get what I'm saying? And that was Cassie. So Cassie just didn't speak up for her. She said she can't be cool with Cassie no more. And you know why she probably couldn't be cool with Cassie no more too? There probably was mad times Cassie came to her crying about Diddy, and she was standing up for Cassie. Like, maybe even if they were all around, she would say something like, yo, why are you doing that? Like, so she felt she was standing up for Cassie, giving Cassie good advice. Also, here's the thing too. The girlfriend of your girl, all she hears is your girl talking shit about you. Trust. Your girl talks shit about you to her friends. So Carrie's probably thinking, damn, when you come over here, you be telling me how he ain't shit, he cheating. Oh, he put his hands on you. Now when he put his hands on me, you gonna stay quiet and defend him? Or, this is crazy. I'm good. And in reality, there's mad women like that. Because a bitch rather lose a friend more than lose a man. A lot of these chicks, listen, never make it and this is all my chat queens. You know that one or two friends in your friend group, never come between her and her dick. She will definitely pick her man who she claims, she tells y'all he cheated on her, he beat her, he did A, B, and C. But if it becomes you or her, or you or her man, you don't got a fucking chance. You don't got a chance. So I think that was going on there. But she got offended because whatever. And then she started playing hardball like, yo, I need some bread. And then Diddy probably said, yo, Cassie. And this is another thing about Diddy. You could tell Diddy never wanted to handle none of these situations himself. It's like Diddy was smart enough but dumb enough. I'm going to tell you why. Smart enough to possibly foresee the day that today comes where these people are going to be like, Sean, you gave me a settlement. Yo, you dealt with... He had Cassie do a lot of the stuff. Cassie, you go hire the prostitutes. Yeah, I want this one with the big cock. Pause. But you hire them. Like, it would have Cassie do the bidding that if anything come back, Cassie name is on the thing. Hey, we're going to pay you a settlement, but you're getting a settlement from Cassie. So he was smart enough to try to keep his name off of shit, but just dumb enough that he was doing it, period, right? Let's keep it going. Okay. I see someone here that says, didn't Cassie say she paid half of it? That's what she had claimed. But Morgan is almost saying, nah. And by the way, let's think about this. In a roundabout way, it's all Diddy's money. Shorty didn't have a job except freaking off. How the fuck was she going to pay? I think the implied meaning here is that Morgan knows all the money came from Combs, even if Cassie supposedly paid with her own money, it's her money that was given to her by Diddy. Right? Anyway. Okay. Still rocking out here, waiting for another tweet.
He invited me to come, and I did, and we were staying at this house he rented out, and we were having parties the whole weekend, and she had came over, and I noticed that they were gone for like a long time, and I was like looking everywhere for them, asking like everyone if they seen him, and everyone just told him no. But then like I remember like I like turned around and I saw him, and then I looked this way and then I saw her. Like they reappeared together. I mean, separately, but like reappeared at the same time. Because I was looking for her too. At the same time I was looking for him, because I suspected that he like snuck away with her.
I'm opening up.
And now she's like at family functions, and like he invites her to his events and stuff in Miami, and they was just in Virginia not too long ago.
Wow. Now, I know you had mentioned there was pictures of girls that you found, like naked photos of girls and stuff, like while you guys were together.
Mm-hmm. Like his nanny or whatever, her name was like Nikki. I saw like her sending him pictures of her vagina to his phone, and I asked him, and he was like, well, what do you expect? You're fucking with a rock star. Like that's what he would say to me.
A rock star.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Or superstar, whatever he said.
What about like of any other of the women that you just named?
Oh, and on my birthday, he had shown me a picture of me and him. The first pic that we ever took, and I was like, you should save that as your screensaver. So he was like, I don't know how. So I was trying to show him, and I saved the picture to his photo album on his phone, and then I clicked on the photo album to like set it as a screensaver, and I saw a picture of him and Lori, like the same exact pose.
What do you mean?
I mean, the same exact pose that he took with me.
Okay.
And he did the same with Lori.
Were they clothed or not?
No.
They weren't clothed?
No.
Lori Harvey.
I mean, I didn't see the whole body. I just seen like up here, up. I mean, like up,
okay,
like from her chest and up.
And did you ever have any problems with Lori?
No, I don't have any more problems with her.
Or any of the other women? Because I know you said Cassie was, of course, very respectful, but she still wanted you to step back.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes me angry a little bit, but I know that it's not their fault. Okay. So I don't have any, I'm not angry with them.
Wow. Now, I kind of hate to bring this up, but if Diddy is messing with Lori, wasn't his son Justin messing with Lori as well?
I'm not sure what their relationship was, but I know that Justin was trying to talk to her when we were here at Super Bowl.
Wow. So does his family know about you? Have you met his family? Have you lived in the houses? Because I know he has a few houses and things like that. So.
No, I never lived in his house, but yeah, I know his whole entire family.
Okay. And so the family knew about you and Cassie at the same time.
Man, bench players talking like starters. I hate it, man. Yo, side things talking like wifeys, man. Like, yo, bruv. Yo, you're on a team with Cassie, who's the freak off specialist. Like, yo, she's like she's the captain of the freak off squad. You could do whatever the fuck you want with her. She got the most experience lathering up nipples with motherfucking baby batter. You got Lori Harvey. Like, yo, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yo, freaking off Steve Harvey's stepdaughter is crazy. That's crazy. I wonder if Steve Harvey ever said anything to that nigga Puff. Like, nigga, leave my fucking daughter alone, you fucking creep. I wonder if he ever said some shit like that. Because Steve Harvey Let me see. Steve Harvey and who? Diddy. Where the fuck Steve Harvey been at? Whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you ever, I guess, feel any sort of anger towards Cassie?
Mm-mm.
Never.
I mean, I felt like a little jealous, like wishing that I could
be her,
do the things that she get to do with him.
Yo. Okay, chat. No. I know I'm making I'm not trying to make light of it, but just keeping it a beam, man. Yeah, I feel like all these bitches were just kind of like fighting for spots on the roster. Like, the nigga not sex trafficking. He's just juggling hoes. Like, yo, come on, chat. They all jealous of each other. Cassie was jealous of her. She's 22. Cassie 30. You feel what I'm saying? Cassie's trying to do more and more freak off. Even when Cassie was supposed to age out of the freak offism, Cassie's saying, yo, I got to keep doing it because he might do it with another girl. This chick is like, man, yeah, he blowing my back out. I'm freaking off, but like he don't bring me in public. I want to go in public. You know what I mean? Like all of these, it sounds like a nigga juggling a roster. Now, does he look like he was trying to lay the pimp hand down? Yeah. We don't agree with that. We don't like violence against women. He definitely beat the brakes and pulverized some of these women, and we think that completely foul. But a lot of what I'm hearing sound like it's a nigga who was juggling a roster of women. And we also got to remember, I think Diddy like men, niggas, rappers. I think he got to, I feel like, chat, you could name them in the chat. There's a few rappers today, like sipping their tea, like, you tell him, sis, I was going through the same thing. I always wanted to be like him. At least he got to be in the pool. I never got to be in the pool. He never told me I was scrambling. I know. You tell him, sis, I'm going through the same. I think Diddy had a roster of bitches and niggas. My opinion, I could be wrong. They were all jealous of each other. A bunch of side niggas and side bitches fighting over the Lubriderm, the Astroglide, and the motherfucking baby oil, chat. We got to call a spade a spade. All of these niggas wanted to be the main nigga. All of these bitches wanted to be the main. And even the ones that were like the main were jealous of the time he was spent with the other ones or the younger ones. Chat, keep it a beam, bro. I'm not even being funny. I know something. I ain't saying in comment. This is chat. Diddy had a whole thing. Diddy was on his Leonardo DiCaprio shit. Yo, Cassie, you getting old. I need a new 22-year-old. Let's swap him out. Y'all know which rapper he was partying with first, and then he swapped him out for a young tenderoni rapper that screamed like he in the passenger. Come on. Like, come on, chat. He was always swapping them out. We seen some of these things in that one conversation, I was watching Drink Champs. I'm like, why does this look like a hey big head conversation? What the fuck? What the? In so many words, all I heard this nigga say was, hey big head. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this nigga talking about right now, gang? What is this? Is somebody? Diddy had a roster of men and women. Both of them, I don't know what he did to them. They're all insecure. They all want to be number one. And they all, I don't know about the men, but they all wanted to have his kids. Maybe some of these niggas thought they could have kids. I don't know. But she wanted to have his kids. Cassie wanted to have his kids. And we got to figure out, Lori Harvey's the only one that kept it P. Lori Harvey moved on to her like fourth or fifth nigga. You know what Lori probably did? Listen, right now I'm ad-libbing, or I'm just riffing. So I'm going to just say allegedly. No lawsuits, let's get it. You see, these chicks, they know how to, let me tell you this. I think Young Miami and Lori Harvey knew how to play with a nigga like Diddy. These chicks, they were so docile. Diddy would come in here and be like, bitch, you fucked up my ex. Slap. Right hook. I don't agree with these things. I'm just trying to tell you how he was coming. I don't think Young Miami was getting no right hook. I think Young Miami was knowing how to play it and treating him like a trick. And then I think Lori Harvey was like, oh, you think you could play with me, huh? You think you gonna play with me? I'm fucking your son. Over. It's over now. She done put a pussy on your son. All that shit, what you gonna do? Kill your son? She put a pussy on your son. You start playing with her, acting like she wanted Like she a option, like he over here juggling a bunch of bitches. She said, all right, I'm gonna put the pussy on your son now. You know Diddy was going crazy. Come on now. Diddy fuck with the right one with Young Miami and Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey said enough is enough, fucked his son, dipped out. Young Miami, you could tell that Lori boisterous bitch, you can't shit, you might have to have a shootout with her, man. I don't know. Like, it don't look like, her voice even annoying. She don't even sound docile. It sounds like you gonna be arguing with this bitch all day, man. Like this chick right here, when you raise your voice, he says, shut the fuck up. You don't hear, nigga, she tiptoed to the bathroom after that. Nigga, she even put her phone on silent. Nigga, she don't even want to hear, bling, she don't want none of that. She just, you could tell, Cassie, one of them chicks, you say, bitch, if I will slap the, nigga, trust. Young Miami, you gotta go get one of them ratchet bitches. You got to fight her, man, because this chick on some other shit, man. Like, chat, we men, we know who we could try. We know who we could try. By her voice, I could tell. Yo, you run shit with this chick right here. You run shit with her. You don't even ask her. You tell her. Yo, tonight we having a threesome. Matter of fact, I got 2 hoes in town, foursome. Let's get it. You tell her what's going on. With Young Miami's like, bitch, you got to take me shopping, period. Like, yeah, and that bitch, she can't, like, so much mouth. I'm like, oh, my God. Bitch, you better Rolls Royce me. Like, yeah, I could tell, like, little ratchet hole. I don't even know why I didn't even fuck with her. I'm like, chick like that, man, she just running through your credit cards. Nigga, you need a chick like this. She over here searching for loving babies. All you got to do is pop in Plan Bs and back to Planned Parenthood every 4 weeks. Sorry. Y'all niggas know what it is. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all be acting like y'all don't know. Like, come on.
You know, like,
and what did you ever talk to Diddy about that?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He don't care. I just had to play my position.
Hold on, I don't mean to laugh. But like, it just goes into, that's why I keep telling y'all, like, yeah, I think Diddy know who he could try.
What type of, did he ever talk to you about him and Cassie's relationship?
No, he always spoke highly of Cassie.
Did Cassie know about your pregnancies, do you think? No?
No one knew until now.
Okay. So.
Yo, the more and more this goes on, I see why Diddy wanted to get me knocked off over, when Diddy hit me up like I was fucking up his pimp game, like, shit, if I knew all this shit I knew now, nigga, I would apologize to that nigga and send her a side chick gift and send him just a player gift. You get what I'm saying?
The video is out. Everyone obviously knows while watching this interview that you did upload the videos out of spite to actually prove that you and Diddy had a relationship. So when you did come forward.
Hey, what videos did she upload? Gina. She uploaded some videos. Where's the videos? She was trying to show. Anyway, let's get back to some tweets real quick. We'll get back to this. Okay, so Kerry Morgan says she didn't talk to her. Remember, this is Cross. Agnophilia shows Kerry Morgan a photo, then asks, hey, do you know if Louise Hayes is a self-help author about self-affirmation? She says yes. Agnophilia says, why did you send him this with words of encouragement? By the way, Chad, I keep telling you, Diddy's team is stacked. They got some investigators. This is about like the 4th time they've brought something up that's not going to be in discovery. But they're asking a witness, which means a witness, like, for example, how the fuck did they know that Cassie just got a $10 million agreed upon settlement by the Intercontinental? How did they know that? You know, that's investigators. That's people who is poking and prodding. And this is why I've always told y'all, you'd also get an investigator or, when you got bread like that, you got to, they're coming with their info. You got to do research to get your info. We see little movements on these civil cases because he's putting all his resources, as you would imagine, to his criminal case. So now they're saying, yo, why did you send words of encouragement to the self-help author about self-affirmation? She said, I don't remember sending it. So, okay. Okay. Then it says, I want to show you a few more photos, but first, let's talk about the incident when he put his hands on your neck. Were you and Cassie using any drugs at the time? She says no. Agnophilia says, what did he say? Morgan said, it's Carrie Morgan, she said, he said, who is she cheating with? So it looked like he was asking, who the fuck is she cheating with? And she was pressuring the friend to say, who the fuck is she fucking? The friend wasn't saying nothing. He grabbed her by the neck, right? Interesting, chat. Interesting. What? What'd y'all say? Somebody said you extra funny today. Picasso Black, what up with you, bro? He's had to pass through real quick. Man, it ain't me funny. This shit is just hilarious. Like, again, we don't tolerate abuse or nothing like that, but some of this shit is just buffoonery. Some of this shit is clownery. You feel what I'm saying? He says, you went to urgent care, not the hospital, right? She says, right. Agnophilia says, but you don't remember telling the prosecutor it was bloody and you went to the hospital? She said, I don't remember that. Agnophilia says, let's look at this. And this is, again, the material from her pretrial interview. So, again, they're using the same strategy. Your memory is hazy. You don't remember everything. You said one thing in pretrial interview, and now you're saying something different. Something's up. Now, I keep telling y'all, I think this is a good strategy. You're proving that these people's words are unreliable or they could misremember. You shouldn't take everything they say at face value. You should take it probably with a grain of salt. However, in putting together this narrative, if 1,400 people say that a nigga is a thief, even if they're describing how someone stole some shit and everybody has one point of the situation incorrect or off, you're still going to be like, where there's smoke, there's fire. All these motherfuckers can't be lying. That's a thief. So they're going to have to nullify the fact that the prosecutors are bringing up a lot of the same people to say a lot of the same things. Okay. By the way, it's 2:30. They're probably going to go on break, a short break soon. But yeah, let's get back to this interview.
There was actually receipts. How did Diddy react to you uploading the videos, being that you guys weren't on speaking terms? And he's always kept you out of the public.
I didn't speak to him that day because I guess he had surgery that morning. And then when he woke up from his surgery, he was like, what's going on?
What
Like
surgery?
Oh, he had a soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, I only know this from his son, because he called me like, or whatever. But I guess he was like, what's going on? Like, I just woke up. I didn't do anything. And he never does anything.
Okay. Now, you said there was a text message that you received from him.
Oh, yeah. So I hit him the next day, though, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that E! News reached out to me. And that's all I said. And he responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson. And I never even met Tristan in my life.
Wait. I want you to be clear with that. Wait a minute. So he responded.
He responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL.
Harvey. Put that camera on me. Harvey, so you've never met Tristan?
I've never met Tristan.
Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together because you were obviously messing with Tristan. So he was going to create a scandal, is what you're saying?
I guess.
Yo, Diddy's powerful. So look like, number one, Cassie's applying pressure like, yo, you're dating this bitch? He don't want to lose Cassie. Cassie is the freak-off champion of the world. And, you know, Cassie's really jealous of this woman. She's younger. She probably complains a little bit less. And this woman is jealous of Cassie because she's like, yo, Cassie gets to go to red carpets with you. Cassie gets to be seen with you. I'm just sneaking in and out of hotels getting my back blown out. You feel what I'm saying? So they both jealous of each other. She gets tired, drops some pictures, Cause like I hate one of them chicks that be like, I don't want to be a secret. I don't want to be a secret. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So she drops some pictures to let everybody know. Diddy my man too. Okay, that's what she dropped the picture to say. Diddy my man too. Right? Diddy basically would probably showed up and said, bitch, I'm about to slap the taste out of your mouth if you don't help me fix this. Number one, it's gonna help him get Cassie back because Cassie's done with him. And it's going to get this idea that Diddy's getting exposed and probably fucking up his other situations. He's like, yo, I'm going to still fuck with you. You still my bitch. But remember, you're my hidden bitch. When I'm done with that bitch, you'll get promoted to up here. Yeah, Diddy was just rocking with a roster. Chat, everybody knows this. Any nigga who ever juggled a roster, yo, you ain't shit. That's how a nigga got a roster ain't shit. We got 5 hoes. When wifey leave, the second in command is that side chick that's the bottom bitch that done lied to wifey about you fucking her. Now it's her time to, you know, she get a little training camp, a little tryout to be wifey. And if she ain't she fuck with other niggas, she could never be wifey. If she fuck with other niggas, never get elevated to wifey. But if she kept it loyal as your side chick while you have a main chick, she get the job, starting quarterback. She's a new wifey. And then everybody moves up. The bitch you used to see once every 2 weeks, now you see her once a week. You feel what I'm saying? Like everybody, okay, you never used to get gifts. Now, yo, you move the roster up. Whoever leave, you know what they say? One monkey don't stop a show. And one thought don't stop this rotation. That's a fact. So to keep it real, I'm pretty sure he was selling her on the dream. You're 24 right now, shorty. Okay? You're going to be fine. Cassie pushing 30. I'm low-key done with her. She fucking with Michael B. Jordan. But my public image matters. And right now I can't pop out with you and you just did some dumb shit. You're fucking it up. I need you to get this back on track. I'm going to have TMZ put a fake-ass story. You're fucking Tristan Thompson. Bitch, you better not fuck Tristan Thompson. I'll fuck you up. But that's what we going with. Jack, come on. We all know what's up. Nigga balancing a roster. Niggas use... Somebody said that's fantasy? Y'all wildin'. Yo, if you juggle a roster and it don't... Bro, like, niggas ain't shit, bro. Like, I would say 80% of niggas in here got a roster of at least 2. That's a roster too. That's a roster. Really should be 3. Like you gotta have more than 3. 3 is a roster. When you juggling a roster, if one fuck up, you look to the other. It's like you Bill Belichick. All right, bet. All right, well, let's not say Bill Belichick. He going through some shit. It's like you an NFL coach. All right, bet. This thing is called an ACL injury. All right, throw the other person in. I bet this other person, now they get more reps in practice. That's how it goes.
How'd that make you feel when you heard that?
Yo, niggas in here typing like they girl watching. Niggas, I never had a roster. Nigga, you sound mad like pandering. Nigga, even if you lame, you could have a roster, bro. Like, bro, yo, even women, well, women always got rosters. But women brag about their roster now. Like, you know what I mean? They'll be like, yeah, that's the nigga who pay my bills. That's the nigga that give me dick. That's the nigga who he be bringing me on trips. That's my club pro. Yo, a chick always got, or maybe the bitches I be dealing with, a bitch always got a club promoter or a photographer in her roster. And it's use purposes. Bitch want to be in a section or she love taking pictures. I'm telling you, bro, that's why you can't have your girl be friends with none of them niggas. Club promoter out. Photographer out. Trust me. You're like, how this bitch always got some professional pictures? Like, bitch start telling you she a model. You like, model for who? You ain't Vogue. The fuck is you talking about? She at the club. She was in the section. Oh, I know the promoter. I could get up in here. Now it's lit. You driving past, like, oh damn, it's too packed in there. Like, we gotta go to another club because look at that line. Oh no, I know the promoter. I'll just tell him to come outside. We could. Matter of fact, we get a set. How? You not with her. She out with her friends. She in the same club. What the fuck? Damn, how you up in there? Oh, yeah, no, we just got a section. How you got a section? Wait, which nigga y'all with that pay for the section? Oh, no, there ain't no men, it's just me and the girls. It's the promoter nigga. She done fucking and sucking. He gave her a free section. He gave her his section, the promoter section. Chat, half of these jokes. The other half might be trauma. I don't know. I speak from experience. No, I'm playing.
I mean, they always using Tristan Thompson for something. I really believe they use Tristan Thompson to get Jordan Woods out of that Kardashian clan. Like, if you ask me.
Oh, if she know the DJ, that's bad. Her fucking stories, you see the DJ table. You like, bitch, are you scratching? Is this bitch scratching? What the fuck? You see the play button. You see the Serato. If you see the Serato in her story, you're cooked. How the fuck? The bitch is she DJing? Now you know he's putting a different type of cock in her stomach. If when you watching her story, the DJ let her play the button while he switched to the next song, he's giving her a different type of dick. Trust. That's fact, chat. Y'all know I ain't lying.
They plotted that. You know what I'm saying? It was just way too close to home. Like, you know.
Let me get back to the tweets. This ain't comedy hour. You're right. Whoever said that, Mike, that dude, shout out to my man on Kick, man. He said, that's that promo box. Yeah, you're right. Okay, here they go. There you go. Because let me tell you this. The promoter that's fucking the chick always tell the chick he fucking, bring some girls, bring your friends. Because that's how promoters do. Like, we got to get bitches in the spot and niggas follow. Niggas buy sections. But they assign the promoter like a section or two that they could be in. Maybe it's just Miami. I don't know. All right. Let's keep it going, people. Let's keep it going. Chat, we are 6 hours in. The coffee stopped running through my stomach. I was feeling like I had the bubble guts for a little bit. I was thinking, I'm like, how am I going to do this? But it's chilled. It's chilled right now. Cool. So Carrie Morgan says, I see that. I said that. So she's basically looking at an interview that she did with the government to say that she has said that she went to the hospital. Okay? So she's admitting, yeah, I see I said that. And now we saw, not cross-examine, that's redirect. Okay. So then cross-examination ends because Mark Agnafilio says, we rest. And AUSA Foster comes back around on redirect. She says, do you remember Mark Agnafilio asking you about an incident in LA? And Agnafilio said, objection. The judge says, overruled. Again, the reality of they're going to object when you asked or you refer to someone else's testimony, or even if your own testimony, but just refer to even the prosecutor, or not prosecutor, but the defense in this situation. So you just got to present the question a different way, right? And it says, do you remember when the story about you being in LA and Diddy hit her, like in Jamaica? And they were arguing about jealousy. What happened in Jamaica? She says he dragged Cassie by her hair down a 50-yard hallway. Holy shit. That's why I know Diddy couldn't be with no Young Miami. Man, you gonna drag her by her fucking weave or extension, whatever the fuck she got on, the glued on shit. Nigga, Tay gonna come beat your ass. That's what, and that's the nigga who they use the gay dude who do all them chicks' hair. Tay, or is it Jonathan nigga hairstylist too? Or am I tripping? Yeah, Jonathan or whatever. Tay or Jonathan gonna come beat your ass, Diddy. So he gotta do that type of shit to Cassie. Them non-black ambiguous women. AUSA says, was he talking about jealousy? Carrie says no. He says she spent too long in the bathroom. Now, this is actually a good point that the the prosecutor is going to harp on. It wasn't just toxic relationship shit. It was control shit. Now, control shit, even if it's within the context of a toxic relationship, could then be extrapolated to control over her life, control over this. And if it's established that all they wanted was, all Diddy wanted from this woman was sex, it becomes, okay, these acts already seemingly as commercial sex acts because you're bringing in sex workers. Now, it seems like you're doing all this violence and everything else, moving her from state to state for the purpose of sexual pleasure. So that would kind of look like sex trafficking. Now, this is why, remember the defense when asking Cassie questions directly? They asked Cassie, they were like, what were the questions they asked? They asked Cassie, oh, did he love you? Did he do this? They were trying to establish that you guys just had a relationship, right? Like, the government is trying to make your relationship look like sex trafficking. But no, you guys had a relationship. You cooked for him. Y'all went out on dates. He told you how much he loved you. whatever. It just happened to be violent and toxic and a lot of cheating, right? So AUSA says nothing further. They says, is there a recross? They says now, or maybe it's no. So there was no recross to that. Next witness is David James. Remember, this is a former assistant of Combs, and AUSA says, why are you here? James says, I've been subpoenaed. And so were you Combs' personal assistant? They said, yes, from 2007 to 2009. Keep in mind, 2007 is when Cassie and Diddy locked in. AUSA says, who is this in a photo? David James says, that is David James. AUSA says, that's yourself, correct? And the person says, yes. Okay. Waiting for another tweet.
It was like, I felt, it wasn't like nothing new to me because it's like now that I know Puff, I was like, he would do some shit like that to me because he's done so many fucked up things to me. But it's just like I posted a video of us loving each other. You know, it's not like I didn't say anything. I just posted videos and pictures of us loving each other. Nothing else.
And why do you think?
Shorty, you're the side chick. Like, bruv, you get love in private. Yo, these chicks are like thoroughly confused. Bruv, I have my main girl that I'm a famous mogul. For better or for worse, they're associating me with Cassie. You're getting dick, and yes, I love you. I probably tell you I love you, but this is private, okay? We could send videos and pictures to each other. Like, you could show your friends. Maybe, like, don't even post it on your Finsta, bro. Like, yo, you're embarrassing me now. Like, what's up? Like, you're the side ting. Stop it. Talking about I only posted videos of us loving each other. Yeah, this is a secret.
Anything. I just posted videos and pictures of us loving each other. Nothing else.
Yeah, you just snitched on me. That's what you see, all I posted was me showing you love and told on me. That's what you did. Fucking told on me.
Because it's like now that I know Puff, I was like, he would do some shit like that to me because he's done so many fucked up things to me. But it's just like I posted a video of us loving each other. You know, it's not like I didn't say anything. I just posted videos and pictures of us loving each other. Nothing else.
And why?
I don't even know if it feel like Diddy wasn't even trying to give game like that or like spit game. I feel like these chicks are like willfully ignorant. Yo, how could you think Diddy's your man or he would want to stand by you posting pictures of him when in the media it's flooded with him and a different woman? And why do you think that Diddy wouldn't post the pictures himself if he wanted that to be known? Just play your role.
Why do you think he, I guess, seems like he was trying to fix it? Why do you think he was trying to fix it? Like, I guess I guess the publicity that was surrounding the videos and pictures that you uploaded. Why would he say to you that TMZ is trying to fix, like, I guess is working on a story?
Hey, okay, I seen some people shout out to people in the Kick Chat, man. Y'all really going crazy. Do I have the King Akademiks chat open too? Shout out to my peeps over there. All right. Do y'all want me to do the side topic real quick? We're waiting for more tweets. We're not fully there yet. So we're going to let a few tweets kind of back up. Remember, we're done with Kerry Morgan. That's the best friend. Now this is Combs' former personal assistant between 2007 and 2009. That's David James. It's probably going to take like 5 to 10 minutes for us to get like a good amount of tweets to read consistently and understand what's going on. I could do a real quick topic. I've seen some people here.
Day6, Diddy.
By the way, before we do this, let's get up to date with our tweets. Okay. So David James is a new witness. They're there, and basically David James says, that's me in the photo, right? He then says, I went to college in Michigan. I later faxed my resume to Bad Boy Records. I said, where was the interview? 710 Broadway. So who'd you meet with? I met with Tommy. and his sister Keisha and others. It said, how did they test you? It says, well, they gave me 40 appointments and asked me to make a schedule. You know, for example, what time a particular show on Hot 97 came on. And AUSA says, what did Mr. Combs ask you? He said, to make a spreadsheet for Miami. David Jones says, I said I know his food and restaurants preferences. He asked me, why'd I make a good assistant? I said, can't stop, won't stop, and I got the job. He said, were there others? He says, yes. Miss Robles, Mr. Barber, and others, okay? He says, what would you do as an assistant? He says, bad boy to 5, then out to dinner, then to studio at 3 a.m. We'd get call at any time of the night, okay? AUSA says, did you travel with him as well? Says, yes. So who was his security staff? D-Rock, Bonds, Uncle Paulie. AUSA says, you work 20 hours a day? It says, yes. Security did 2. So what did security staff tell you? It says, to stay in my lane. Who said that? Bond and Uncle Paulie. AUSA says, focusing on his personal chef, says Chef Jordan, who's now Jordan Atkinson, which, by the way, this chef is also expected to take the stand at some point. Let's Google to make sure that's the same chef. Diddy. Let's see if the same chef that Okay, I do think we'll find out more later. Is this celeb chef? This is her.
My bills, but I actually decided to say for Floyd Mayweather.
What's the most memorable meal you've ever prepared?
I'd have to say for Floyd Mayweather. I was with him for 3 or 4 training camps, so it's like.
Holy shit, yo, chat. You know, Floyd got like a roster of hosts too. You think Floyd? Oh, I hope they don't get Floyd. I don't know. If we're trying to say these are men who probably got too old, still was running around here trying to have a roster of 10 chicks, lying, deceiving, obviously violent, and now shit, sex trafficking, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Flying chicks left, right, and center.
Part of history at the time.
That's amazing.
What keeps me motivated? My bills. But I actually decided at 19 years old that I was a chef. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puffy, Puff Daddy, was my first celebrity client.
Do you have a specialty?
High-profile clients right now, they want things to be clean. A lot of people are doing paleo, gluten-free.
Okay, all right. AUSA says, did Mr. Combs have girlfriends then? Personal assistants, he says, yes. Kim Porter, Sarah, Tara, oh my God, Yana, and Cassie. Told you my boy had a roster, 5 of them. Got a good roster right there. Kim Porter, Sarah, Tara. Who's Tara? And who's Sarah? Yana and Cassie. What was your first conversation with Cassie? We were on Star Island. Kerry Morgan was there too. Cassie said, this lifestyle is crazy. David James says, I asked her, why don't you leave? She says, Sean controls my life, my music. He pays for my apartment. AUSA says, the next conversation with her? David James says it was about her music, but the album never came out. AUSA says, did you overhear a conversation? David James says, yes. David James says, Mr. Combs said, Kim is my queen. Out in LA with my family, he said, I have Cassie where I want her. Ooh, okay, so he was breaking down his thing. Say, Kim is my queen in LA with my family. Cassie, I got her right where I want her. She's my young, moldable chick. Okay? AUSA says, Your Honor, how much longer do you want to go? This would be a good place to break. The judge says we'll break for the day. Oh my God, it's an early day. Now, there's more. Agnafilio says, MDC Brooklyn makes us end VCT at 6 p.m. We need more. Ending at 3 p.m. helps if you can extend it. The judge says put a letter in the docket, okay? Okay. What is this? Let me... What's VCT calls? Oh. Is that visiting calls? Oh, that's video teleconferencing. Oh, wow. So it looks like they called court earlier today. They probably raised this issue in the morning. We didn't get it written out. It appears that Diddy's lawyers are saying we need to speak with our client beyond being in court. If we end at 5, by the time he gets back to the jail, we can't even have a conference. Like, he's shut down for the night. We get him back in the morning, but we can't really talk to the guy other than during lunch. So we want some time to prepare for him with video calls, clearly. And they're now agreeing that ending at 3 p.m. probably is going to work out, that everybody could get to wherever they need to go to at 4 and maybe have a call for at least an hour. Wow. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay, people. Let me play this guy.
Describe
the date or his input. It's my guy, friend of mine, Bradford Cohen. This is him. He gives real good legal insight. By the way, one of the best lawyers in the land.
On Sean Diddy Combs. So today, Dawn Richards is going to continue testifying. She is a member of Danity Kane. Danity Kane is a group that was managed by Sean Combs. And if you remember, he's never been easy on any of his groups. I don't know if anybody remembers Making the Band. I remember wasting my life away watching Making the Band. And he made people cross over the Brooklyn Bridge to get him Junior's cheesecake. He's a very difficult manager. He's a very difficult guy to deal with. And I think that is kind of going to be highlighted by the defense here. I don't know if...
Yo, chat, let me ask that gentleman a question. Well, I asked my chat queens. Now, granted, I'm asking this in a very tongue-in-cheek way. I don't mean to be insensitive or anything about it, so I got to give a disclaimer. But if you a woman that were around at that time, and you see how horny Diddy was, he was having freak-offs for 4 straight days. If Diddy never tried to get you in a freak-off or never tried to fuck you, would you feel like, yo, damn, I really wasn't pretty? Because I'm like, yo, ain't no way he tried Babs Bunny. Right? Like, yo, I don't think he tried, like, them hoodlums that was in Making a Band, or The Band, that's what it was called. I don't think he was trying to get Babs Bunny in no fucking freak off. I can't see him saying, yo, we need Freddie P from Miami to fuck Cassie while I watched. Nor Lean Belly Ines. Or I can't be like, yo, Chopper, yo, take that Chopper suit off and come fuck my bitch. I can't see that neither. And I can't imagine him saying, yo, right now, we need an island man to come fuck her. I rip and I rhyme and I rape. This is the way Dylan spits. Sarah did look good, though. Sarah did look good type shit. Sarah did look good. But the rest of these hoodlums, hell nah. Hell nah.
There's going to be a lot of bias here because
he does look like Dana White. You're right.
She was treated in a way that she felt was disrespectful in terms of money, in terms that she didn't get paid for things, in terms of that she witnessed things that she didn't want to witness. She says that she witnessed him hitting Cassie with a frying pan with eggs in it, never reported it. Never called the police, never had a text with Cassie about it, never had a text with friends about it. I think that's unusual because you think she would at least tell her friends about it. Cassie's testimony last week wrapped up with a lot from the defense just smoking her on.
Is that a fair thing to say, Chad? Do you believe there's a world where they're so scared of Diddy that somebody I ain't gonna lie to you. Yo, somebody get hit with a frying pan around me, my group chat is on fire. Actually, I don't really got group chats like that, but for the group chat people. Like, yo, I'll be on Discord. So I'll be like, yo, I'll be on Discord telling that story a lot. Yo, this nigga Diddy slapped the bitch with a frying pan, nigga. Like, this shit was crazy. A frying pan? Yo, slapping somebody with a frying pan is crazy. I'm telling everybody. But I do have a big mouth. Pause. I say it look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stop it, bro.
Different texts that she wrote about that she loved the freak off, that she wanted to do freak offs during the week, not just the weekend. The amount of settlement that was made by her for $20 million with Sean Combs, and then $10 million against the hotel. So she got $30 million there, and I'm sure her lawyer got $10 million of that $30 million. So he probably bought himself a Ferrari or maybe a Porsche. He might be a Porsche guy. Long story short is I think it's going well.
That's what lawyers spend your money on.
For the defense. You never know on these cases. It's very early in the case, so we'll never actually find out what's going on until the end of the trial. But you could say on the scoreboard, the defense is definitely putting up some points.
I had scored this, chat. I scored this, so I'm going to score like boxing. I'm going to score week by week. I think last week was a 10-9 week for the defense. And the reason why I scored a 10-9 is that this is a round they should have never won. And this is why I think they're up heavily. You know, one of those people who get gas quick, but they give you all they got? They throw mad punches mad quick. So really, they're supposed to win the first round, but they'll get tired later. I think the defense brought up Cassie, right? That's the main witness. I think last week should have been a 10-8 for the defense, where it's like, whoa, not for the defense, for the prosecutors, where Diddy's like, whoa, we're going to have to step it up to recover from this because Cassie crying, detailing these freak-offs. She's a known public, let's not say famous, but like she's known, right? She's a known victim. People seeing that video, Diddy needs to have a strong next week. And I left the week by saying Diddy had the better week. So I scored it like that. Looks like he agrees.
All right.
Okay. All right. Looks like I think we're on a break. Not sure if it's lunch. Okay, it's not lunch. Okay, so good. So the jury enters back in. The government calls Carrie Morgan. Carrie Morgan is the former best friend of Cassie. Carrie Morgan says she lives in Los Angeles. AUSA says, who is this? She says, Cassie Ventura. They said, what's your relationship? She says, well, we were best friends. Her boyfriend assaulted me, meaning Diddy. AUSA says, do you see him here? She says, yup, right over there. That nigga right here, grayed up in the yellow sweater, okay? AUSA says, let the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant Sean Combs. AUSA says, why are you here? She says, I got a subpoena. AUSA says, where did you live with Cassie? She says, in Manhattan. AUSA says, did Cassie drink? Carrie says, not much. AUSA says, any drugs? Carrie Morgan says, none. Whoa, this is actually important. I'm going to pause this by saying this is important in the sense of we've just heard that Cassie went to rehab. We've heard that Cassie was heavily under the influence of drugs. How could her best friend not know? Now, I'm guessing this is the government asking something that could hurt their case, right? They're saying she doesn't drink that much, whatever. Well, it could help their case in the sense of saying, did he force her to take drugs? And that's why her friends never seen her take drugs outside of being with Diddy. And that is one of the arguments they're trying to make. They're saying behavior that she exemplified or did with Diddy, she never did outside of being with Diddy. For example, she never did a freak off unless it was with Diddy. And yes, she did do freak offs while she was dating other people with Diddy, but she never did a freak off with anybody else. That didn't include Diddy, right? So maybe they're trying to say, yeah, this woman wasn't really a druggie. Diddy got her hooked on drugs to control her. And that's why she was taking drugs around him. I didn't see her too much off drugs. Seems to be maybe the case, right? So what was she doing for work? Modeling. And she recorded Me and You. AUSA says, when did you learn they were dating? 2007. AUSA says, did you travel with Cassie and Mr. Combs? She says, yes. We went to Ibiza, Miami. AUSA says, what drugs did Combs provide? Molly, marijuana, ecstasy. AUSA says, which of them did Combs take? She says, all. Did you take any drugs along with Cassie? She says, opiates. Okay. All right. By the way, we don't know who are the other witnesses. We don't know who the other witnesses are going to be, Chad. All right. So we don't know who the other witnesses are going to be. The judge did ask for a schedule of witnesses, and it appears that the schedule of witnesses so far has Diddy. Well, not Diddy, but had Dawn Richard and then Kerry Morgan on the stand. We don't know who's going to come after that. At some point, we're going to get Jane Doe, but we do have to think about all the other things that has to be proven. Maybe somebody who worked on the car or who recovered the car, or a cop that recovered or responded to the scene of the car being blown up for Kid Cudi. Don't think Kid Cudi going to take the stand. There's a lot of other people, and maybe like some clinical psychiatrists or trauma psychiatrists that could be taking a stand to kind of like push home some of these points of like a victim being in these situations, and maybe you think that they're operating under their own free power and free will, but they're actually being taken advantage of, and they're moving out of fear or being in a drugged up state. So we're gonna see a lot more people other than like people that we know or hear about. So far, we're hearing a lot about people we know and hear about. Okay, let's see. We should get some more tweets here. They probably got about 30 more minutes, or maybe a couple more minutes before they break. Okay, so it says, how did Mr. Combs act? It says he would yell at Cassie. She lost her confidence big time. She lost her spark. Did he talk down to her? Yes, about her looks, who she talked to. Did he contact you looking for her? He says a lot. So they're kind of driving home this whole thing that Cassie would be missing at times, or like, she would be absent. And Diddy would send security to go get her. He would call multiple people to try to get in contact with her. And he made a point where Cassie had to be held accountable, or Cassie had to be present when he wanted Cassie to be present. He would hit up the best friend. I think they may have even mentioned he may have even hit up the moms. Like, Diddy always made sure he knew about Cassie. And this is going to go into the government's point of, you remember sex trafficking under force, fraud, or coercion. It's like, yeah, you could say Cassie could walk out the door, but if when she walks out the door, he tracks her down with security, he's still threatening her, he's saying he's going to drop the video, he's hitting up her best friend, he's pretty much has control or has a tap on her whole life. The physical act of leaving the room of a freak-off doesn't still allow her to escape, right? Also, he had a place that she used to stay at that supposedly he had access to. So, just trying to play devil's advocate on how they're trying to roll this case out, right?